Hi, we're Vera and Søren, and we've been renovating our forest home ourselves for the past year. One of the biggest projects so far was our kitchen, and today we're breaking down exactly how much it cost and what we learned along the way. So now that our dream kitchen is finished, let's talk about the costs. We were working on a budget, and that affected some of our decisions, like getting a base with Ikea cabinets, but upgrading to custom-made walnut fronts. In this video, we will break down how much everything cost, why we made certain decisions, and what we would do differently if we could do it again. So we spent everything in euros, but I will also share the price in US dollars. So no matter where you're watching from, you can get quite a good idea about the pricing. So if you're planning your own kitchen renovation, I think this video can be very helpful. You will get a realistic idea about pricing, and perhaps you can see where you can splurge and where you can maybe save some money. But if you're curious about what we spent, that's fine too, of course. So as a base for our kitchen, we chose Ikea cabinets. So we have them in our island and we have them in our cabinet wall. This was a budget decision. We didn't want to spend too much on this base. We also had done this in our old house, in our former kitchen, and we actually really liked it. It worked really well. We think the Ikea cabinets are quite good quality. They don't really look very beautiful when you open the cabinet. It's, Ikea cabinet. And I think it would be much more beautiful if you would have had them custom made. But this was a budget decision. We think this was the best option for our budget. We spent 2,195 euros on all the cabinets together. This should have been 200 euros more, but Ikea had this sale where you could go in your pajamas and then you would get a discount. So I got Søren to go in his pajamas. I mean, it's just simple trousers and a shirt, so for him it's not that bad. And that way we made 200 euros, so I thought that was an easy way to earn some money. To make it look more sophisticated and finished and chic, we decided to have the fronts custom made. Essentially, you are just wrapping the entire Ikea cabinet from all sides, so you don't really see them anymore, except for maybe when you open the drawer and you open the cabinets. As I said, I think custom made would have looked better, but this is a way to save some money. So how did we go about that? So first we found a company that specializes in making fronts for Ikea kitchens. And we went there, we had a drawing made, we knew exactly what we wanted, so they didn't really help us with the design. They just drew everything out. And this cost 250 euros, and once we were to order from them, this 250 euros would be deducted from the final bill. But we eventually decided not to go with them. We thought the pricing was really expensive. I think we were going towards 12,000 euros. And then Søren thought about someone he knew from a few years ago who has become a carpenter in the meantime. And he specializes in making custom-made cabinets for bedrooms and so on. So not especially for kitchens or Ikea kitchens specifically. However, he could help us out. So Søren reached out and we had the drawing already made. So that helped a lot, and he really helped us look at all the details. He came up with a way to make the handles and the grid pattern that we had envisioned. And we were really happy with our decision. He could make our walnut fronts for the island, so for the drawers, the handles, also the outside panels of the island, which are quite large and thus very expensive, but that was 3,630 euros. So that's MDF with a veneer of walnut on it, and it wasn't oiled yet. That's the way we wanted to get it. We wanted to oil it ourselves to also save some money. Then the cabinet doors is also MDF, but wrapped with a certain coat so that you can easily paint over it. And just the cabinet doors and these drawers here were 908 euros. And then we also had the coffee corner made, but I will put that in one cost altogether. So for the paint of the cabinet wall, we paid 96 euros. It was a paint from Little Greenie. We specifically wanted a paint that was very high quality and that would keep very well when it's being touched all the time and used. And for the oil of all the walnut, we paid 125 euros. We used a hard wax oil from Osmo. That oil was advised by our carpenter. He uses it himself as well. We were very happy with the oil. It gives a matte finish, which we wanted. We wanted to keep it as natural as possible. There's no coloring in it. It doesn't make it darker or anything. It just enriches the tones of the walnut, which is already in the wood. And yeah, we are really happy with it. So now comes the biggest spend we made, which is the countertop. We knew quite early on we wanted this specific kind. It's a ceramic countertop. We had this in our old kitchen as well, and we really love it because it doesn't stain, it doesn't scratch. It's really good with heat and so on, so it's really durable. And with 2 teenagers at home, I think this really suits our family at the time. I do think a natural stone countertop would have looked even better. I think these can be really, really beautiful, but I would really be nervous about stains and everything. So I think this is the right decision for us right now. We actually did want the countertop to be thinner. So it's about 3 centimeters thick right now. We wanted it to be about half the size. I think that would have looked more chic, but that would require them to make it extra strong, and that would cost just so much more. So we decided not to do it. It would be about 1,300 euros more, I believe. And that just didn't fit in our budget, and we had other priorities. In the end, we decided to go with the 3 centimeters, but that did have some consequences we didn't really think about at the time of ordering. When you build the kitchen, you can choose what height you want the cabinets to be. You have feet under it and you can adjust them to a certain height. So we had designed it for a kitchen countertop of 1.5 centimeters instead of the 3 that we have now. So in that case, we would have the feet higher up than we have now. And we designed the cabinet as well for this. So in the end, we had to lower everything because we were getting thicker countertops, and we didn't want our countertops to be super high, which resulted in a gap at the top of our cabinet. So I had it designed specifically to fit here almost exactly. So we would have a little gap, but it would look really built in. Maybe in hindsight, with the effect it had, I would have gone for the thinner one and paid the extra amount. So let's see how much it cost. So it was 3,345 euros for the island. And so that would have been 1,300 euros more even if we wanted the thinner one. It was 295 euros to have it delivered and to have them install it right away. So now I want to specifically talk to you about the coffee corner. I'm doing this separately because making the coffee corner actually did cost some extra money. So if we had chosen to just put in more cabinets, just continue like it is on the left, it would have been much less. So let me show you. So for the walnut panels, which our carpenter made, we paid 908 euros. Then we have the countertop, so it's the same, it's the ceramic countertop, which is 497 euros. And then we also have the tiling. The tiles were 242 euros for just this bit. We didn't really look at the cost for the tiles. It was just a small area and we just wanted to go with what we liked and we didn't really look at the price. Of course, we also had to pay some for the glue and some of the materials we needed. I don't really have the receipt for that anymore, but I think that would be about 30, 40 euros or something like that. So when you look at the coffee corner in total, it was 1,687 euros. And I think if you were to put in just the cabinets, I think it would be about 200, 300 for the cabinets and then another 200, 300 for the doors. So we could have saved at least 1,000 euros if we hadn't put in the coffee corner. But I wouldn't have done it any other way. I really love it. It gives depth, it gives some color, nice place to put my coffee machine. It just adds a place to put some nice vases and cups and so on. So I'm really happy with my coffee corner and I wouldn't want to have it any other way. Because it was part of the countertop, I want to mention the sink now as well. We got a copper sink and we had the inlay version, so it sits in the countertop, and that was actually quite an expensive option as well. So the sink was actually 600 euros, but because we already spent so much on the countertops, we got it for a discount. We only paid 300 euros for the sink, but we paid an extra 357 euros for the inlay bit. You pay for every hole they have to make in the countertop for the faucet and also for the sink and for the induction stove as well. But because it's inlaid, the price is quite high. Because we have quite a large countertop and an extra one and the expensive sink, they gave us an extra discount of 463 euros. So in total, we paid for all the countertops and the sink 4,331 euros. So that was our biggest expense for the kitchen. So we like to cook our own meals almost every evening. We hardly ever get any takeout, but we are not chefs, so we don't have like super special appliances. What we did get, we wanted to get high end, so good quality, but not top notch, so that we would pay ridiculous prices, but not the lowest prices as well. So what I also have to say, we bought all these appliances at the end of the year 2024, and we got them separately wherever we thought it was the least expensive. And what I know and noticed is that when you buy these appliances yourself, instead of at a specific kitchen store where you can just buy the whole kitchen and they get the appliances for you as well, these appliances are a lot cheaper online. So that's what we did. And we got some very good discounts because of Black Friday, for example. So that might be a tip to get your appliances at that time of the year. We got our oven. It was originally 999 euros and we got 100 euros discount, so we paid 899 euros. It's from Siemens, so that's a good brand, not top notch, but good quality brand. Then we have our induction stove, which was originally 1,999 euros. But we got a 700 euro discount, so it was a special sale for this specific induction stove. But we were really happy with it because it has everything we wanted. We want to have it as flat as possible without anything extra, so it's super easy to clean. That was very important for me. And also with the slot in the middle that filters all the dirty air. I'm not sure what you call it. So we're really happy with it. We paid 1,299 euros for it in the end. However, after installing it, we noticed we missed a certain piece of the piping that should go behind the induction stove, so in the island, and then blow out the air underneath. And it was another 179 euros, which we didn't account for at the beginning, but we had to have it, so we had to order that as well. The dishwasher we got for 949 euros, but we got 100 euros discount, so it was 849 euros. Also Siemens, happy with the quality. And the fridge, we could have done better. In hindsight, we didn't really pay too much attention to the height of the fridge, so we really paid attention that it fits inside the Ikea cabinet width-wise, but eventually we went for one that could have been bigger, and yeah, that's a shame because we could have had more space in our fridge, which we now don't have. But we could get it for 924 euros, but there was a second chance one, which means that someone bought it, didn't like it, and returned it. And it had a few scratches on the door, but it doesn't matter because it's built in, so you will never see it. It's attached to the cabinet door. And so now we got a 94 euros discount for that. So we got it for 830 euros. So now let's talk about the faucet. So that was a bit of a splurge. We wanted a faucet that gives instant boiling water, which is becoming quite normal in the Netherlands, especially in new kitchens. But we also wanted to have a sparkling water functionality in it. And that makes the cost much higher, but we drink sparkling water a lot, and normally we would have to buy a lot of these plastic bottles, so now we don't have to buy the bottles anymore. Anyway, this was quite expensive. We also have cold filtered water in this faucet as well, and we decided to buy it during Black Friday, and that helped us out a little bit. So we would have spent 2,558 euros, but we got a discount for 207, so we spent 2,380 euros on this faucet. So that's a lot, but we use it every day and we are really, really happy with it. Then we have our handles on the doors. So this is solid walnut wood. I had them made to size. They are custom made in a way, and we pay 268 euros for those. Then we have our lights. We have the same ones we had in our old kitchen, so we didn't have to buy all of them new except for one, because we only had two in our old kitchen and we wanted 3 in this one, so we paid 70 euros for just this one light, but of course it would have been 210 for the 3 of them. And then we have some miscellaneous costs, like some plumbing things. We got new sockets for in there and some piping and yeah, just some miscellaneous things, and it was in total about 500 euros. So that makes for a total of 19,999 euros. So let's say 20,000 euros for this kitchen. And I'm curious, is that what you expected? Did you expect less or more? So let me know in the comments. I know that when you get this in a kitchen store where you design and buy everything all together and they build it for you, this would have been much more, I think, maybe to even around 30,000 euros, I would say. So of course for that you will have to do everything yourself. You have to build everything. It is a lot of work, much more than I anticipated. It took us a few months to build everything, to think of everything, to order everything, to get everything in time, and so on. So it was quite a big hassle. It's not super easy to do this yourself, but in the end, it was totally worth it. We have a kitchen we love for a budget that was suitable for us.